Hello everybody, just wanted to welcome you to another Talking Head episode with Denoy. We are currently at Crane Creek Promenade, Manatee Observation Area. Let me show you what it looks like over here today. For those of you who aren't familiar with this area, the bridge right there that you're looking at is US 1. And the next major road right there is New Haven, and then right beyond that, or Strawbridge Avenue, I guess. Right next to that is US 192. So we're essentially at south of the junction for US 192 and US 1. And of course, you see little blue back there. I'm taking a break from the yurt. I did pick up some supplies for the yurt, which I'll resume building here when I get a chance to go back out there, but I had some errands I had to run. Anyhow, wanted to do a quick Talking Head episode. Find a good sitting spot. You know, that I was getting a backlight there. Maybe this is better. Yeah, this is probably a better spot here. Anyhow, I was looking at some of the comments out there, and some viewers were suggesting that maybe I should try to eat some June bugs. And I didn't know what June bugs were, so I had to do a Google search on it, and surprisingly, you're not gonna believe this, it turns out the June bugs are these little beetles, these little brown beetles that I'm used to eating. And I've got a story about it that is hilarious as all heck, okay? I've been looking around in Florida, and we don't have those June bugs around here, at least not enough of them. In Thailand and Texas, when I was in Texas around the Fort Worth area, there was a bunch. But in Thailand, they come out all the time. They typically come out like right after it rains or when it's raining. And in Thailand, they're actually valuable. They are a really valuable source of nutrition. So the locals, at least in my village, everyone would fight to get those things, okay? So let's go for a walk while we're talking. In Thailand, what happens is whenever it rains, everybody rushes out with buckets, you know, pots, pans, buckets, any container, and let the container fill with water. And those June bugs, those beetles, they come out and they fall into the buckets and they drown. So in Thailand, whenever it rains, everybody's like, hi there. Everybody's like fighting for a spot to place those buckets so that the June bugs would fall in and fill them up. And people would just run out in the streets, you know, and try to be the first to a certain spot where the bugs seem to gather quite a bit. So everyone's fighting for a spot, and then after it finishes raining, everyone goes back out there and grabs their bucket full of bugs. And what you do to cook it up is basically you let them drown in the water so they stop moving around. Then you take them and you have this wok, and you put some oil down, and you throw the June bugs in there and throw salt on top of it. At least that's how my mom cooked it. She would just throw them into the wok, you know, with some hot oil, and just go ahead and fry them up with some salt. And how I ate them was I would just take them and pop them into my mouth, kind of like popcorn. And it was kind of like popcorn, really crunchy. I can still remember it was like if you're eating it, you know. And they were actually pretty good. It's kind of a, I'm trying to describe the flavor. It's kind of a crunchy, oily flavor, almost like eating fat, but crunchy. But like popcorn is, I don't know, it's kind of crunchy like popcorn, but it tastes, I think, a lot better than popcorn. Anyhow, yes, if June bugs came out here, I would definitely eat them again. I'd get a bucket and try to catch them. But they don't exist. I mean, they don't exist, but I haven't seen them around here. So I don't think I'll be able to do an episode on that unless somehow they magically show up around here. But it did get me to thinking about doing some episodes, since we're doing some kind of a survival type theme here right now with the yurt construction, kind of making it like a temporary bug out shelter, for an emergency. It's not meant to be a permanent structure, but it's meant to last if you had needed to go out there for a while, hang out or hide out or whatever, or what do they say, when shit hits the fan, you're trying to just survive till you get to the next point. So I may do some series with survival, where we actually are going to try to catch our own food. Like, for example, there's a lot of minnows here. I don't know if you can see them all in the water. See the little glittering? There's minnows. You could scoop those all up and eat them. Now, I don't know if I'd want to eat minnows from this particular water here. This is, I don't know what creek this is. I guess it's Crane Creek, maybe? Maybe that's why they call it that. But this water here, my friend was telling me it's like really, really polluted. I see people fishing here. Sometimes they fish under the bridge over there, around that bridge and around this balcony area, this walkway. But I don't know if I'd actually want to eat the fish that you catch from here, because I think it's dirty water. I think it's polluted. But we may try to do some survival episodes where we'll try to eat some bugs and wildlife if I can find some. I'll be doing some research to see what's available in Florida and what may be edible around here. But I do have a funny, I'd say hilarious June bug story, okay? Back in 1974, that's when I first came to America. I was 6 years old, and by this time I was about 7 years old. It was summer or so. Yeah, around June, because that's when they came out, right? Anyhow, we were living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. My dad was in the Air Force, and our family was stationed there at Carswell Air Force Base. And anyhow, it started to rain. Yeah, and guess what came out? The June bugs. So my mom had all the kids gather buckets. We all ran outside with big pots and pans and buckets, trying to beat all the neighbors out there to catch the June bugs. And we're like, where are the neighbors? These people are stupid. We had all the best spots where we could place the buckets so that the June bugs could fall in there and drown. And we were expecting a rush of all the neighbors, because in Thailand, as soon as it started raining, I kid you not, the whole courtyard, the whole area, the whole town had people running out to catch June bugs. Well, in Texas, it wasn't like that. It was just me and my brothers and sisters and my mom running outside with big, huge buckets and pots and pans, and we caught like a gazillion June bugs. We were like, whoa, look at this haul. I mean, it was like the buckets were literally overflowing. So we had all these June bugs, and we were shocked that none of the neighbors seemed to be interested in catching these things, because in Thailand they're valuable. I mean, they are a nutrition, source. So anyhow, we had all these extra June bugs. My mom was cooking them up, and we had so many of them that, my mom wanted to give them away. So I had some American friends that would come play with me, and we used to hang out, and they'd come by my house. Yeah. So my mom had cooked up this fresh batch of June bugs, and she brought out like a big, huge bowl of June bugs with salt on it, and gave it to me and my friends to eat. Yeah, my American friends. And they were like, oh, this is cool. And they would eat it just like I did. We popped them into our mouths and just chewed them up. It's nice and crunchy, It was delicious. Except that I guess when they went home and told their parents what happened, that they came over to my house and my mom made bugs for them to eat, I noticed that they weren't allowed to hang out with me anymore. They weren't allowed. I mean, they were allowed to hang out at their house, but they weren't allowed to come out to my house anymore. And it took me a while to figure out that I think the reason for that was because their parents were freaking out that my mom gave them June bugs to eat. So that's my June bug story. And it was interesting to look up the June bugs and see that they were indeed those beetles that I used to eat when I was a kid. So thank you for making that suggestion. If I do see them, I will eat them again. Let me show you how to cook them up. In the meantime, look forward to some more cooking with Denoy episodes that will hopefully have some more interesting content as far as the items that we cook up. So until next time, everybody, I want to thank you all for joining in. I hope you have a great day.